In this video, I'm going to share with you the real reason why you struggle to trust yourself. And you might hear my food cooking in the background. From the time that you were born to this moment, you have been programmed by everyone and everything around you. You've been programmed by television, you've been programmed by the movies, you've been programmed by the media, by the books you read as a child especially, and nowadays social media and all of the media that's available. Up to 75% of your core beliefs were formed in the first 12 years of your life. You form them as a result of your relationships with the most influential people in your life. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your teachers, your aunts and uncles, and so on. 75% of your core programming about the world and the universe and your place in it was formed in the first 12 years of your life. That core programming goes on to influence between 40 and 95% of your decisions every single day. So that means almost every decision you make every day is rooted in your core beliefs that you formed in your childhood. So you're literally living out the life that was programmed into you. Imagine that you're playing a highly advanced virtual reality simulation or video game right now. Quantum science supports this idea and has supported it for hundreds of years. And ancient spirituality like Kabbalah, alchemy, Gnosticism, etc. also support this idea. That reality is not quite what we think it is. It's not as physical or as solid or as permanent as we've been led to believe it is. Science backs that up, spirituality backs that up. So imagine that you're living in like a highly advanced virtual reality simulation or video game right now. Your character, in my case Ricky Goodall, is not really who you are. That's just the character that you're playing. That's the story you're playing in the theater, in the play. That's the plot in the video game that you're playing. And so your character is a result of your core programming, which you started forming in your childhood. And so that core programming has gone on to create who you think you are and how you think you're meant to behave. So at some point in our development, in my experience, we get to the realization that our life is being lived by our programming rather than by our true desires, our true inner calling. There starts to be this battle between the ego or the character or the programming and the true inner self. There begins to be this separation between the inner self and the lower self, I might say, the higher self and the lower self. And that battle begins to create dissonance and confusion and an inability to trust ourselves. For most of my life, I didn't trust myself because I was continually told by those around me that I can't trust myself. I was continually told what to learn, told what to think, told how to behave, told how to show up in the world. And as a result, I didn't really trust that I knew how I was supposed to live in the world. So I started following the advice and guidance and suggestions of everyone else around me. But that whole process of trusting those around me can be valuable to a certain point in life. And then at some point I have to start to think for myself. And that's when the conflict starts to happen. That's when the dissonance starts to happen. My inner world doesn't match my outer world. My inner self doesn't match my outer experience anymore. I no longer see what's happening in the world around me as okay. I no longer am okay with showing up in a dishonest way, pretending I'm somebody I'm not, saying things I don't mean, saying yes when I mean no, people pleasing, seeking validation, and so on. So the reason that you struggle to trust yourself is because you've been literally programmed your whole life not to trust yourself. You've been programmed your whole life from the time you started this so-called video game, this game of life, this play, this movie, whatever you want to call it. Since you started playing the game, you've been programmed and told what to do. And now you're realizing that you can actually start to tell yourself what to do and listen to your own inner calling, listen to your own higher power or highest self or inner wisdom or inner guidance or intuition or whatever you want to call it. You can listen to that part of yourself and lead yourself or be led by this higher knowing to the life that you truly desire. So the reason you don't trust yourself is because you've been programmed not to trust yourself. Because if you do trust yourself, then you're no longer the character in the game, you're the player. And the game begins to play with you and life gets easier. So the real reason you struggle to trust yourself is because you've been programmed that way. And the secret is learning how to listen beneath the programming and the character you created and find your true, authentic, higher self. If you're a coach, a healer, a shaman, a musician, a magician, a performer, a leader, an artist, if you're anyone who's on a path to transforming your inner self and becoming who you really are, check out the link in the description of this video for the Waymakers, an inner circle community I've created for extraordinary leaders and miraculous healers who are paving the way to heaven on earth. We're creating miraculous lives for ourselves. We're creating families that we love, friendships that we love, rich social circles. We're creating a job doing what we love to do. We're transforming our relationships, experiencing deeper intimacy, deeper connection, more honest, authentic relationships with the people around us, even the most difficult people that for most of our life we never thought we'd even be able to have a relationship with. We're able to start creating harmonious relationships with those people that are solid and trustable and safe. We're also able to start learning to trust ourselves and learning to quiet the inner critic that holds us back and keeps us stuck in cycles of doubt and questioning ourselves and just not believing in our potential. So learn more about the Waymakers in the link below. It's our inner circle of extraordinary leaders and miraculous healers. You can join for $1. We get together every 2 weeks and we play these games that are designed to realign our programming with our true selves. Not somebody else's belief system, not somebody else's indoctrination, not another philosophy or a quick fix, but rather we're holding space for you to discover your own way inside. It's called the Waymakers because we're all Waymakers in this community. So the games and the exercises are based on the authentic relating philosophies and conscious intimacy philosophies and deep coaching philosophies and shamanism and ancient spirituality, but they're designed in a playful way that allows you to just get lost in the flow, get lost in the moment, connecting with another person from somewhere else in the world who's doing and thinking in similar ways to you. And so you get an opportunity to show up as who you really are. So it's kind of like a spiritual dojo or a consciousness training center designed to help you live in unity consciousness, not by telling you what to do, but by giving you space to discover your own inner calling, your own inner wisdom. So check that out in the link in the description, www.thewaymakers.com, or sorry, rickygoodall.com/thewaymakers. Maybe that will be coming soon too. And if you struggle to trust yourself, it makes sense. You've been programmed not to trust yourself your whole life. So go easy on yourself and just remember, it's just a game.